Hello everyone, Soulsword17 here. Let me first like usual, on this picture, not paid video, okay. So basically, here's the thing. I was trying to make this twice, but some stuff happened. First one I was tired and I forgot where I left off because my dad called me. And then second time I just was eating and I was like, you know what, nope. I'm not gonna make it, so I kinda stayed up for a couple of hours and now I'm fully awake. So after this what if, back to Ruby. Gonna try to get to volume 5, hopefully. I'm gonna try to watch the episodes on YouTube. Maybe because on the Rooster Teeth site it does take a while to load, so the faster it goes, the faster I can produce the what ifs. So yeah. On the 3rd, I am gonna take somewhat because I start school again, so I'm gonna try to get my course done. So I may only be making videos on the weekend, but I will try to whenever I can. Monday, maybe like every Monday I'll be able to. Who knows? We'll just have to see. So, anyways, let's just get into this video. I'm changing some stuff. Well, technically I had already the concept of making Izuko this way. You know, how he was, but not like... And then, he's gonna, like, get his quirk back. Izumi can get a telekinesis back, but not the mutant gene. No, because that'll be too... that'll be just like too much, and Izuku will have to go through all those problems with her, so no. So anyways, let's just get into this video. So yeah, what if Deku was Ultron? What if Deku became Ultron, part 2. So, last time we left off is where, Izuku, Deku and Katsumi are at UA. They're in front of it, and he goes like, it's finally here. I didn't think this gotcha can come true. And, Katsumi goes like, hey, I just noticed, you've been, well, a little bit more like your old self, but not really. He's like, oh? Huh. I guess I just stopped acting a little bit cold towards you. I don't know. It's just I started doing it. She goes, you always were that way when we were talking, like, when I was Rias. So he was like, oh yeah, now I remember. So, wanna try to get first place? Which Katsumi just says, she ain't. But she was like, come on, it's not gonna be that bad. She goes, you can easily beat me because you can control all the robots. He's like, okay, fair point. She goes, just remember, Izuku, don't get all the robots for the people. He's like, fine, I'll leave a few dozen for them, or hundreds. I'll make at least a good 20 of them fight for me. He's like, she's like, I have a feeling there could be something to do with... He's like, yeah, you don't need to know. So, when they're about to take, their step in, they just hear someone saying, yo, Katsumi, Izuku, what's up? Which, when they look, they see Izuko. Izuko is way more different. Basically, Izuku's like, what the hell happened to him? He's not acting like a spoiled brat? A jerk? Which Katsumi's like, you changed a lot. He's like, got a little taller, a little bit more muscle. That wasn't that great on the training, but it was nothing I wasn't used to. Which Izuku was like, huh? You trained? He's like, oh, yeah. Every time I left the house in the middle of the night, I knew you were awake. So, I went out training. I had to work on my quirk. The same quirk as Dad, but you know, which he's like, I mean, he's just, wait, you're not calling me idiot or stupid, or, he's like, look, I'm not gonna, well, grovel my knees and, apologize, like, crying profusely. I'm just gonna do this. And then he just bows and, says, I'm sorry for everything I've done. And I know this is probably sound like I'm not even giving a crap about it, but I really am sorry. So, I mean, he basically, stops bowing and he says, and look, I'm glad for you two getting, well, basically being together. Which, Izuku just, like, legit just scans him. He's like, you are my brother. He's like, huh? What's that for? He's like, Deku just says, because my brother had the biggest crush on my girlfriend. I mean, technically, they have been, he is, basically, he has gotten used to being around Katsumi and stuff. He has become a little bit more, open to saying it. He was, at one point, just said, Bakugo, but then, Katsumi, all that. Sometimes it was, now he just says Katsumi and his girlfriend, so, yeah, which Katsumi has always been happy for. So Izuko's like, oh, yeah, Mom didn't tell you. Yeah, she basically got us all married to her, well, basically, Bakugo's marrying, Uzumi. I feel bad for him. And, well, me, let's just say Mom and Dad had a friend, and he had twins. And, well, they want me to marry his daughter. Well, Mom and Dad arranged it already after we were born and such, because if they were kind of, like 4 years after we were born, basically. Which then, Izuku's like, wait, actually, Deku's like this, like, wait, so, why? He goes like, because their daughter and their son act the same, so they're kind of worried about her not finding love. Honestly, I think it's a dick move, but hey. I mean, I saw a picture of her and she's really cute, but I really am nothing more than just a villain, so I don't think she'll like me. Then, which Katsumi's like, wait, you never say that about yourself. He's like, oh, the whole entire greatest villain thing? I mean, not the greatest villain, sorry. I mean, the greatest hero thing? Oh, yeah, no, that all ended during the first year of middle school. Which Deku looks at him in shock. He's like, wait, what? I mean, Baku and Zumi nearly killed you, so... Well, Izumi did, actually. Baku tried to stop her, remember? Which was like, oh, yeah, me getting almost thrown out of the window incident. I passed out. What happened? He's like, how the hell did you think you got to the hospital? Which is what, you brought me to the hospital? He's like, dude, I may be a bully, but I don't want my baby brother to die. Besides, after that, everything changed. I mean, that Gain, not that, I think Gain, or, telling it was a Gain at first, but then it became a villain thing of, Hades, which Katsumi goes like, oh yeah, I heard on the news that they basically, well, took down some pro heroes because they were robbing a armored car of cash. Like, they stole all of it. So, which basically Zuko's like, huh, really? So all of a sudden he starts, he's basically connecting to the Wi-Fi and such, and he goes through, he's like, I see. So you stole about 2.5 million yen. What does a small-time gang, well, it used to be a small-time gang needs this? And he goes like, basically, Izuko just shrugs, and then he goes like, hey, maybe I should join, because I'm nothing more than a villain. Anyways, though, jokes aside, come on. Which, basically, Baku's like, oh, Izuko! We need to talk! Which, Izuko stops, and he's like, alright. Go inside, Katsumi, Izuku. Like, Izuku. Just have fun. I'll see you guys later. Basically, when basically Deku and Katsumi are leaving, basically Deku sees a smile on Izuko's face, which then, well, he gets a suspicion. Something's up. Like, his brother never was like this, so I mean, he was arrogant and a jerk. I like to bully him, but never badly, like, the same way as his sister and her boyfriend did, but he always somehow never did that much damage. So he's kind of going from the memories real quick, and he's starting to realize his brother may have been holding back after the incident in middle school, first year. So his flames were always, regular flame, but they always seemed lower than normal, basically. So he can't go to his actual memory, but, and scan it, but he just has a theory. And so he makes something. He starts making a little drone, little, drones? Yeah, drones. The size of flies, and they actually going around where Bakugo and Izuko are. As when Katsumi's like, what's wrong? He's like, I'm gonna see something. My brother may have not been hurting me that badly as what my sister and your brother have been doing. Along with, I mean, you did a little, but not as bad. Like, yeah, wait, what do you mean? It's like, remember, he's something, remember after I went to the hospital, you heard? Did he change at all? Which Katsumi's thinking, and she goes, yeah, he did. Like, he stopped even, talking to me much. For some reason, and, he always left school early for the first couple of months. I asked him about that, then afterwards he went back to his normal ways. It's like, I see. So, basically, Izuko, we're going to be going to that scene where Izuko and Bakugo are talking. He's like, so, Bakugo, remember on the 5th month we were talking? So Bakugo goes, yeah, and let's have a flashback to the 5th month. He goes, so, Izuko, what do you want to talk to me about? He goes like, okay, first off, I just want to ask this. Did your sister ever have a crush on someone? At all? He's like, yeah, Deku. Why? He's like, I see. So she must still love him. He's like, I mean, when I asked her why she's okay with being with a Quirkless loser, not you, I mean, she didn't care at all. She just wanted to be with him. It's like, that sucked. Yeah. Why are you too upset about that? He's like, I found out just like him, I'm in a marriage, But my mom says she doesn't think I'll be good for for our friend's daughter, so she's kind of rethinking on it. But I said I'll at least talk to her and we'll talk about it. But a hero life isn't really for me, Which Baku was like, huh? What do you mean? You said we all dream of becoming heroes. You, me, Katsumi, your sister, and Deku. He goes, look, after what you and her did, actually what all three of us did to my brother, that first year in middle school, remember the incident? Which Baku remembers. He was like, yeah, the school covered up pretty good for us, huh? It's like, this is why I hate this society. Which all of a sudden Baku's eyes widen. He goes, what? He goes, he just, they basically were sitting down on a bench. He basically stands up. He's like, we aren't heroes, Bakugo. We're villains in disguise, playing the role of heroes. Well, you are at least. Which, Bakugo was like, huh? What do you mean? I want you to join me. join me in my little, let's just say, villain organization. He's like, what? What do you mean? He's like, come, they're nearby. Believe it or not, it's the most obvious place ever. So Bakugo and Izuko go to this location, and what it is, it's basically a building of an arcade. As basically, he sees the owner, he's like, yo, he's like, Izuko, you're here. Everyone's in the back. He's like, thanks. So basically, they go into the back room. He basically pulls a lever, and suddenly a hidden passage opens up with stairs. So they basically go down there. And what he sees is it's a whole entire facility and people there just training their quirks, gathering information on which people, like, which heroes are basically being, well, using their power for evil and such, what, heroes are good, just doing whatever. And, well, even, like, even finding some information on heroes that the heroes, basically the Hero Association kept hidden. Like, he goes like, what is this place? He goes, welcome to one of the places Hades comes to gather information. This is the intelligence, gathering place and training facility. Which he's like, huh? Hades? He's like, yeah, I may be quirkless, but I'm not really, well, how can I say this? Weak. So he goes, boss, you're here. He's like, yeah, hey, can you, stop using illusion around me? He's like, sure. So the dude just looks at him for a few minutes and then, boom. The illusion wears off. And basically his brother is really just, how can I say this? Basically compared to, he looks like the same way Deku looked like, but a little bit more in canon. So, Bakugo's kind of shocked. He's like, what the? He goes, look, I'm just asking you to join me. You could really use your help on some missions. He's like, missions? He's like, yeah, we're trying to take down the society from, well, the outside, and I basically gather any information from the inside, and we can use that to our advantage. Having two people will be a big help. He's like, huh? People that are gonna be the next generation of heroes. I gotta make sure no one's gonna F up our plans. Like, what is your plan? Well, first off, we take down some villain organization gains. Basically. We then focus on trying to basically fix the society slowly and making sure no one gets in the crossfire. We may be technically villains in the public eye, but we're mostly vigilantes. We don't really care for society's rules very much. Besides, it just proved that technically, because of you and my sister, it proved how much of a villain I was. I was willing to almost kill my brother. You know how messed up that is? And you didn't even give a shit about it. Which Bonk was like, you just said, that damn nerd deserved it. Those were your exact words, remember? So stop playing the role of a hero, Bakugo, and accept it. You and me are villains. It's time we stop hiding it. But at least I'm a villain with morals. What's yours? Tell me. Bakugo's just standing at Izuko with all these people around him. He goes, I may be quirkless right now, but these people here, they respect me because of what I've been able to do for them. I made this into just starting as a small game, and then it kind of got bigger. The more people who are treated like villains, yeah, I'm a kid who's basically adults are listening to. That's the most kind of hilarious thing, but I also have been the kindest person. Actually, no, my brother's way more kinder than me until we broke him. Look, just think about it, okay? Tell me on UA, alright? The entrance exam. Which Bakugo just stands there silent and nods and leaves. So, that's when the flashback ends. He goes, you're right, I've been thinking about it for quite a while. I broke up with Zumi though. And I even tell my mom I don't want to marry her. Which Izuko's shocked. And basically, technically, Deku is seeing this, and even hearing it, he's like shocked too. He's like, we are villains. So, when's the when do we start a mission, boss? Which Izuku's like, first, try getting UA. It's gonna be pretty difficult without me having a quirk, but through my training and along with my dad, uh, it may be easy, but there's a flat chance I'm even going to be able to get in. I don't even need. I'm not even gonna ask my brother for my quirk back. Izumi's, when I saw her when I was leaving, she was broken. Guess that's why. And also, she was broken somewhat. The only thing is, I don't know if she even tried to, you know, end her life yet. That's what I'm worried about. Bakugo does not, and she did say I was the only reason left she had. She does have only a few friends, right? Which Izuku nods. He was like, anyways, first mission, get into UA. So, as well, Deku's hearing this, he thinks, my brother's a villain? No, my memory's... Wait. So he started doing the calculations, and then he realizes, if technically after I nearly died affected him that much, then he would have became a villain, but I had to talk to him in person now. My sister, even though she was a jerk and she made my life hell, I should probably... I have emotions, so I can't be heartless. Ultron said to be better than him. And I will. Also, I got to give her quirk back, but not the mutant gene. That, even though it's a part of it, if he's slightly weakened, which could just alter, well, their views on everything. At least I can just do that much for her. So, Katsumi sees him like grunt, basically grunting out of frustration and sighing. She goes, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Just, can I talk to you after this?" She goes, after the whole entire exam when we get home. She goes, "All right." He goes, "Thanks." So basically, the whole entire test is Izuko, Katsumi, Bakugo, and Izumi. Izumi passes. She gets 90. Izuko gets 91. Bakugo gets his candidate thing. Katsumi gets 95, and basically Deku just gets 100. Fits his mistakes, and he knew they were intentional. So yeah. But before everyone was coming to, like they got there first. So basically it was Deku, then, then basically Izuko and then Izumi. And they were like 5 minutes in between everyone, so, in between each other. So he basically goes over to them. Katsumi and him are basically sitting in the same area. And he goes, Izuko and Katsumi. Not Katsumi. Izuko and Izumi, sorry. They're sitting in the same area. So he goes over to him, he's like, "Sup?" And she goes, "Hi." In a lone, depressing voice, he goes, "So, how does it feel to be quirkless?" Izuku asks. And he's like, Izuku goes, "It's alright. My friends are still hanging around with me." Katsumi says, not Katsumi, Izumi says, "My friends were fakes, but a good amount of them stayed by me, and I even told them about the whole entire mutant thing, and they understood. Some of them, and some of their basically great grandparents are also mutants, so it's understandable." Basically, she's saying in a low, voice, and he goes, "Where's the collars?" He goes, "Well, since Dad said, since we were basically quirkless, there was no point in keeping them. So, why are you here?" She was like, "Look." Basically, sorry about that, guys. My basically dad is just calling my dog, and her name. So, hold on. All right. So basically, but Deku was looking at them both, and he goes, Well, first off, I'm not forgiving you guys at all. Well, one of you at least. Which basically Izumi on the inside of her brain saying, like, it's not her fault that, he was worthless, blah, blah, blah. But she's not showing it. She learned since she can't, you know, get what she wants out of people no more. She has to act. And she's gonna, you know, she's still gonna be a brat and a jerk. But to Deku sometimes. And oh my god, my dad. Hold on. Sorry about that, everyone. Just my dad. I got him a new TV for Christmas. His TV broke, so he basically was wondering what the hell happened because of something, different with it. So yeah. Anyways, besides that, so yeah, Izumi, hates Deku for what happened to her and stuff. But at the same time, she knows it's her payback. She's still saying she's the hero. She can be a good hero and such. So Deku says, "But I want you guys to at least get into UA. Because you guys worked so hard, and it'll be illogical to hold a grudge for long. Seems like you both suffered enough. And at least you know some of my pain." And Izuko says, "Oh, yeah. I mean, got some bruises from some guys that, from our middle school. They found out I was Quirkless, and they started trying to pick on me." Which Izumi goes like, "Wait, weren't you friends with people in our school?" He's like, "Oh, no, no." You kidding me? No one in that crummy ass school was my friend. Everyone there, I saw them as my enemy. I only talked to them because, well, I had to, be social. All my friends were outside of school. So, I mean, I let them smack me around for a bit, and then when my friends, because we're meeting up, they basically were there. We basically beat those guys to a bloody pulp. It's like, oh, Izuku's saying, he's basically detecting no lying in his voice. So, he's like, "Look, I'm gonna give you guys back your quirks, but Izumi, your quirk is gonna be, it has the mutant gene in it, so the mutant part of it will be, well, weakened." She was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You can make illusions, people to, well, see something that's not there, but it's not going to be like, oh, they can hold an object. It's just going to be a person doing an action." She was like, "Oh, okay." And she's thinking to herself, "Shit, there goes some strategist I came up with then." So basically, he, does have, like, show them, like, neat, like, little prick, points are coming out of his fingers, then he, puts, on their shoulders, which they feel the, little pinch pain, as in Izuku, like, has fire happened. He's like, "Huh, sweet, my fire came back." And basically Izumi's lifting up some tables, and she goes, "Wow, seems like my telekinesis got stronger. Just because of me being quirkless, I've been training my actual body and my mind." It's like, "You're welcome. Unfortunately, I can't choose my family, so let's try to get along." Izuku, puts the thumbs up and goes like, "Sure thing." Izumi just says, "Yeah." And, I'm making her still be the antagonist. She wants to be, family again, but at the same time, yeah, her life was perfect. Everything, was going her way, but Deku got in it. So, yeah. Yep, Deku ruined it. So, she wants to get revenge, and she wants more power, blah, blah, blah. You know the thing. Just a classic, villain setup. But, with wanting to, and still want to have a family, being normal, or the way it was, she has learned some stuff because of being quirkless. I'm just gonna say that much. So basically, he walks over to the table. Katsumi was sitting there, and she said, he sits down right next to her. She was like, "What did you do?" He's like, "I gave them back their quirks. I couldn't, since my brother didn't have the immune gene. I I basically gave him back his quirk along with Izumi with this immune part of it, just where she can make people standing there and such move whenever holding an object." She goes, "So only making illusions." He's like, "Yep." "Why? I thought you wanted your revenge." He's like, "I can't hold a grudge forever. And it's not logical. There's no point in it. I already got my revenge. They suffered enough." But then she goes, "But they've been making you and me," and basically Zuko's holding her hand. He's like, "Look, I learned to love you again. So I don't hate you. Okay? So don't worry." Which Katsumi does nod. And so everything from there will go like in canon, but besides with Ida, talking to Izuku about him making a ruckus because he's mumbling. Izuku just looks at Ida and he was like, "Excuse me, sir, you, the one who's interrupting a pro hero. You do know the paper has all the information we need. And besides, it is clearly obvious the 0 point will be an object from the height of the actual robot. Am I correct, President Mike? Because there is a picture of it, comparison to all the, robots." And he goes, "Yes, little listener, there is. So, it is just an obstacle like you said. Well done on figuring that out just by the size comparison." It's like, "Thank you." And, by the way, Melissa Shield is not gonna be going through this, test because, she's been trained a whole lot by pro heroes. So, does she really need to go into, a actual test to see if she's ready for being a pro? And also, she has a freaking suit with intelligence quirk. So, yeah. Anyways, hold on. Anyways, though, continuing on. So, Ida says, I see. My apologies," and all embarrassed. So, he basically sits down. And, from there, they all go to their sections. Basically, since there's, all four of them go in different areas, Deku is basically, in his own, same canon area, as he's thinking of strategy to what he should do. Should he use the elements, or should he morph his body into making a blade? Or just use blasters? This would be quite an interesting way to figure everything out. He's thinking, he goes, or I could just do what I wanted to do. So, he basically sees a girl panicking and such. He goes, She panics. She has a less likely chance of getting into UA. And I'll be bad. Everyone should have a chance to get into UA at their full potential. So when he's walking over, Ida does grab him and he's like, "Why are you going to her?" He goes, "To talk." So he can distract her from trying to get into UA. He's like, "Look at her. She's clearly panicked, so if someone helps her calm her down, she'll have a very likely chance." He's like, "No, you're just trying to sabotage her." And Izuku legit shoves off his hand and he goes, "Oh, you're that type of person. The one who thinks he's always right and would like to boss everyone around. But I have a feeling, even in your old school, nobody really cared for what you had to say, and if they did, it was just probably because of your family status, Ida Tenya." Which is like, "How did you?" It's like, "Easy. I know a lot of things that most people shouldn't know, so, good day." As he walks over to Araka, he goes like, "Hey, you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm just a little bit nervous." And he goes like, try to calm down. You don't want to mess up, right? She goes, "Yeah, that's what I'm nervous about." He's like, "Okay, here's something to do." So he just tells her to take, deep breaths in, out, and then like try to distract herself so that way she can calm down her nerves. And it does help. She goes, thanks. And he was like, no problem. I just want to help out people. So it's nothing really special. She goes, well, it is. Thank you. He just says it's no problem. So, while President Mike is talking, Izuku just looks up. He goes, I'm not waiting for these doors to open. Are you kidding me? So he jumps up over onto the wall. Everyone's saying like, hey, that's cheating. And President Mike goes like, technically no, there is no basically wait time or countdown for a hero and villain fight. So, he's not cheating. As basically Deku says, but this is, as basically all of a sudden he shoots out some energy out, as basically about 20 to 40 3-pointers are basically stopped, and he's like, attention everyone, please look at these screens. As basically all of a sudden they all see these screens above them. He's like, you're about to witness a fight for the ages, robot versus, as when he snaps their fingers, basically all of a sudden the robots are changing into certain characters. Robots versus robots, but they're transforming into video game characters that we have. I'm just saying Mortal Kombat video games are part of the universe. So, yeah, I don't own the name, and I don't own none of the characters. Basically, though, Sub-Zero versus Scorpion. Johnny Cage versus, some random character from the old games. I forget. New Cybot versus Liu Kang. Just plenty more. Like, you can just imagine all the characters as everyone is shot, and he's like, now then, fight! As basically, they just start seeing all the freaking robots just start fighting each other, as Zuko's just watching it with popcorn appeared in his hand. He's like, oh, wow, I guess I can't 3D print popcorn. Interesting. And he just starts eating it. And basically, President Mike is like, just watching. He's like, kick back, relax, just watch the show. Everyone basically who's watching it, Nezu's like, I'm counting these as points. Technically, he did use his abilities. Is that right, Hasashi? As Hasashi says, yes. Because of Ultron, he basically became technoganic. So, which Endeavor's like, I see. So, this is what he's doing with it. Putting on shows, he was like, oh, no. He's doing this because this is technically an advantage for everyone else. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, you do know Ultron's #1 villain for a reason, right? Then he remembers, he's like, oh, yes, my apologies. Hasashi. He's like, it's no problem, NG. And, when I basically was walking by when I heard my son talk to his brother and sister. I even told my wife, she was shocked by it, and she's still mad at, our daughter and basically my other son. But it's clear that he was right. So, he basically gave them back their quirks, which basically All Might and Razorhead and all the pro heroes were shocked that he can actually do things. Like, remember, Ultron has been around for ages, and he basically could have come up with serum easily to get rid of quirks. And technically, if the quirks became a part of the along with the mutant gene, it would technically also be erased too. For them never to get back, but he kind of must have made us the same chemical basically to get rid of it, to then basically counteract that to erase it, so they got their quirks back. When he said never, they get their quirks back, he must mean they will never get their quirks back unless he wants to. So, yeah. Which then Endeavor says, I see. So, your son has his, quirk back? He goes, yep. just like mine. Basically, he basically burns his hand as black fire is coming out of it, like a little ball form. He goes, probably even stronger. Even figured out a way how to, well, do it better than me. It's like, I can't wait to see. So, Izuku, while basically making a Mortal Kombat tournament of robots, Izuko is basically just going through robots like crazy. He's basically using his fire, only going to like the not the second hottest that he make it, but like the second level, blue flames, and just immediately kicking robots, punching them, and basically using his hand to basically shoot out fire too, but then like bringing it down to a fist and punching them up in the air, controlling it and bringing them down, and yeah, turning the fire into weapons and such. Which everyone's shocked by this. Someone was watching, and well, basically, a boy says, "So, that's him. That's supposed to be your guy you're supposed to marry because of dad." In which he's like, why a fire user? As then, like, all of a sudden, some girl screaming when a robot's about to hit her, and Izuko just runs towards it, shoots out fire, manipulating it into, well, turn into a robot, as he basically pulls the robot away from her, does a kick, but turns the fire on his leg into a blade and cuts right through it. And he goes, "Hey, don't freak out over these. If you need a rest, just try to lay low and recover your stamina. All right?" He goes, "Yes, thank you." He goes, "This is not even fun." He's just saying, fighting pro heroes is a lot more fun than this. Which technically, this girl and the brother are shocked by that. He goes, "Whoa, he has really good control over his quirk. I heard from Dad that he didn't have his quirk for 10 months. How do you think he got it back?" Basically, the girl says, "Well, Dad did say there, well, from Mom told us from Mom that he was bullying his little brother, and the fact that he's basically probably gave him back their quirks, however he did it." Which, she was, "Right, Shoto?" She was, "Yeah, you're probably right, Shoka." Basically, it's Shoka Todoroki and Shoto Todoroki. So, yeah. So, Katsumi is basically with her brothers, and they have an easier time. I think I basically said she can make explosions, landmine them, throw something to it, then it'll explode, and she can basically do it also in the air too. So, yeah. She basically is having an easy time along with Bakugo. Izumi, just technically beating everything easily. So yeah. Anyways, though, back to Deku, as where basically he sees, well, every fight was finished besides Sub-Zero and Scorpion. As well, Scorpion gets basically Sub-Zero into being like dazed. He said, and basically Izuku says, "Finish it!" And well, he does a basically brutality. He goes, "There, now then, I guess that's enough fun games." It's basically Izuku only sees he has about at least a good 45 points. He's like, "That's not enough. Looks like I still have to get in there." Alright, so he basically jumps off and like flying through the air and using the wind, he basically levitates all the robots he needs and crushes them all with the wind. He just flown there. It's like simple, and they're just like, everything else is like, "Wow, that we did get that points from him not doing it himself, but controlling the robots to fight each other. I thought that would make him go a little bit more serious. It looks like it didn't." And basically Hasashi just sighs and like, "Well, I mean, like I said, Ultron did give him, well, elemental manipulation. So he really doesn't need to do that much if you really think about it. And so when Izuku basically just lands down, everyone they do release the 0 pointer, but before the 0 pointer can even go on anymore, he basically can like tell there's a problem with it. So they're and he's thinking, oh no, someone's gonna get hurt. So Uraraka does get trapped, but he immediately goes up to it, touches it, and connects to the 0 pointer before anything like when they were starting to press the button. So and all of a sudden he shuts down the system. He's like, there. Wait, it looks like someone was hacking into this. Why is that? So he does a trace to it, and he finds out it's, well, going all over the place. It's going to multiple different areas, but there's from a nearby calf. So he was like, so, someone tried to go into a nearby calf, and they hacked into this security system, UA. I'll have to look into that. I had to tell them their security system was outdated. Or I should call the Avengers. The Shields would probably be a shot if I call them. Especially that Melissa girl. It's gonna be a problem. So, after that, he helps out Uraraka. She said thanks, and she'd like to thank him. He was like, no, seriously, there's no need. So, anyways, I gotta get going. Gotta meet up with my girlfriend. See ya. And she's like, girlfriend? So she kind of, pouts a little bit. Oh, and, well, let's just go to Bakugo as he's coming out talking to Katsumi. He's talking to her, but she's not talking back. And he's just fine with that. And then basically he sees Sasaki. He goes, just keep going to your, boyfriend. She goes, of course I was. And, basically she leaves. She kind of is mad at Bakugo, so, yeah. He goes, what do you want, uncle? He was like, so, we heard from your mom that you wanted to end the... Yep. Look, it's nothing personal, but... I ain't no hero, no matter how many times I try. Prove it. It may be redemption, but the actions I caused isn't hero-like. So, I just want to try again, UA, and see how far I can go. Which, that kind of shocked Hasashi. It's like, okay. But why break up with Izumi? He was like, look, I did care about her. And our school was pretty crappy. They basically kept on not even telling anyone what we did to him at school. Which Hasashi was like, wait, what? Here's everything what we did. And my sister wasn't a part of it much because of, he points to his head about, he's like, oh, yeah. He goes, you probably know, right? He goes, yeah, Zuko showed me all his memories. Yeah. So he just, he even explains about the incident. He's like, so that's why, Izuko took him to the hospital, and after that he changed. For a couple months. Which Hasashi's thinking, that's strange. So, you're just gonna try to see how far you can go and hopefully prove yourself wrong? He asks, Bakugo's like, yep, that's all. So, I'm gonna try and find a girlfriend that's actually cares about everyone else besides herself, and well, actually, it's kind of my fault that she even came like this. That's another reason why I broke up with her. Which Hasashi was like, what do you mean? He's like, I said since our brother is useless, what's the point in caring about him? I really am just a villain. As he walks past Hasashi after he said that. So Hasashi's pretty shocked by that. So, basically, Izuku was waiting for Katsumi comes over to him and, surprises him. He was just pondering on, well, what to do before UA, because I'm not making this very long, because I want this stuff loaded. So, when he basically is then, so he says, Katsumi, he scared me a little. She says, sorry, what were you thinking? He's like, well, someone tried to hack into UA's system, but only to control the zero pointer seemed like. I don't know why. And, well, I need to find out who they were. She was really. What do you mean? He's like, well, no one with a quirk with hacking. Well, actually, a quirk with hacking could be good, but they basically would not have the network to bounce off the signal everywhere. The only people I can think of is A.I.M, but they've been gone for years now, like 100 years. She was like, huh? Really? He's like, yeah, it's kind of odd. They've been gone for so long, so they might not even be around no more. Which Katsumi was like, maybe the Avengers keep it hidden from everyone. He's like, good point. So, he gives a call to, well, basically, the Shields. Basically, David answers, he's like, hello? He's like, Mr. Shield? Who is this? Izuko Midoriya, Hasashi's kid. The one Ultron turned into Technoganic. He's like, oh, yes, my wife was just talking about you. It was nothing good, probably, right? And he was like, well, to be fair, he's like, yeah, I get it. Murderous robot with basically the mental, well, with the madman mind because of Ant-Man, you know? Yeah, I understand. I'm not saying you're a bad kid, but from what Sashi told my wife, her thought process became a little bit different after that. It's like, oh, do you mind if you, well, put her on the line? She goes, oh, yeah, she's right next to me. Hold on, put on speakers. Which then he hears Melissa's mom saying, hello? He's like, excuse me, Mrs. Shield. Is A.I.M still around? Which she goes, huh? A.I.M? Yeah, they're just on the really down low. It's like no activity ever happens from them, only once in a while. Why is that? He was like, well, so he explained about the zero pointer, then he found out about the signal. She's like, oh, yeah, that may be able to happen. They are technically geniuses. So, maybe? He's like, thanks. I'll look into it. She goes, no. Look, I want to prove myself that I ain't just some, well, pretending to be hero, and yet I'm gonna try to take over the world because I'm a evil mastermind robot. And besides, I want to see how far I can go. And I need to test out my new abilities, so... And I do need technology to test out, see what's my... I need to test out, see what's my mutant gene. She goes, oh, yeah, you do need to do that. Fine, but if you have any troubles, just call. Here's basically an instant, well, I'm basically texting you your number, or... Actually, I'll just send you an email to a program I have that I will send something to you if you're in a pinch. It's like, thanks? So he gets the email and, he just sees it and it's like an encoded app, special custom for him. He's like, do you just have them? Basically, he's still on the line. Do you just have these for anyone? She goes, this was telling you for your birthday. And I was going to help you try to get in UA. He's like, if I did not run away, you were going to help me to get into UA. She goes, yeah, Hasashi's a good close friend of mine. Of course. It's like, wow. Thanks. She goes, no problem. Just, He's like, I know, be safe. So basically he hangs up the phone. And Katsumi's like, wow, that's nice of her. He goes, yeah. Anyways, come on, let's get home. So, When they get home, he explains what he heard from Izuko and Baku's conversation, which she is shocked by that, and you know she was. I mean, she's basically kind of shocked that they both like. Baku says we aren't heroes, we're villains. He's like, my brother. How did he change? He goes, I don't know. Probably during the 10 months. Look, I don't even know why, but Baku's not with Izumi no more. That's another reason why I gave her back her quirk. And, she's like, oh, even though I don't care, want to care for her, she's still my family. So, yeah. But hold on, guys, I got a message from someone, so give me a minute. Alright, sorry, but anyways. So, here's the thing. What happens is this. After that, they do, have dinner and such. But Izuku found where the calf was. Was able to do a holographic, imaging of the place. He asked the owners to, basically if he could. So, basically found out where the, signal was coming from, and boom. He basically backtracked it all the way to an A.I.M hideout, which, for some reason, was an abandoned building. So he basically scanned the whole entire building and found out there was a secret passage from, of an elevator going down. So instead of just, buzzing through the elevator, he made his own little pathway and snuck in. And what he's seen is A.I.M. All the A.I.M people dressed up in the same outfits they are, but they're just having discussions saying like, okay, so I know we've been out of money for quite a long time because of all these heroes coming around. And, well, even though our technology is advanced, the Avengers keep on getting in our way. And now their kids are going to be coming out. So look, I'm thinking about it, guys. I know we're all brilliant, but the way this is going, we're just going to keep failing, and A.I.M will be no more. So, how about, and then, Izuku just says, excuse me, hello? Yeah, I mean, he was hiding behind him, he's like, so, is this A.I.M, all the super genius villains, come together to try to progress humanity, right? Yes, we're in a meeting, who are you? Like, oh, no one special, but Ultron's successor. But they all just look at Izuku, and he's like, look, this facility is pretty impressive, but he does see, shot, basically, equipment damage and, place. The entire place looks like it's just run down now. Is this, the last group of A.I.M? He's like, believe it or not, kid, and basically we were technically in America for a very long time, but we had to move over because the Quirks were getting too strong there. We thought this would be better, and we're trying to make it big here, and it doesn't work out so well. So, I see. So, A.I.M legit is dying. You've been in the shadows, and you've been trying to, we've been trying to rebuild it. But a lot of heroes get in the way, and some villains, like that bastard All For One. He's been making our lives a living hell. Which Izuku's like, All For One? He's like, yes. He basically wants us to help him to take over the world and such, but we refuse because we want to progress humanity into, or basically progress humanity into evolving, but not in the way it was for Quirks. More the lines of on their own hands and not with powers and relying on it too much. He's like, okay, so that was this group's plan or something. Because a lot of A.I.M people left, so this is a good 50 of us. It's like, oh, okay, this is. Then he's just thinking to himself, this is sad. So what you got here? He's like, what? He goes, look, I came here to see what what you guys were made of. I was gonna try to take it over. Do my own little thing. But hey, well, you guys need help, and I'm willing to help. So let me see what you got. So basically, they show him what they have and such, and basically they even say we have this Adaptoid, and it, it kind of looks like Ultron, and some like few of them. I mean, one looks like Ultron, another one does, and they even have like some of Ultron's parts. It's like, wait, that's a okay. You look that thing looks like Ultron, and that has some Ultron like you have some Ultron parts like arms and legs, even the head, one of his old heads. Which he was like, how do you know? He's like, oh, I met the guy. He's like, huh? He's like, oh, gather everyone and have a holographic projector. It's like, got it. So Izuku basically makes like a plug into his head and shows him his memories, and everyone was kind of shocked by this. So Doctor Octopus, is still around Japan, and near the Stark. Like I think I remember it was saying like for the Stark facility. So they're like, holy cow. One of them says, that's brutal. Yeah. So he takes it out of his head. He's like, so, what do you guys want? Do you guys want me to help out? I mean, I will be taking some of the Ultron parts because, yeah, I need some upgrades. Basically, he said, I'm taking organic, so those Ultron parts can actually help rebuild my. I have vibranium and adamantium, but they can actually help me out with more of my reconstruction process if my arm comes off or breaks anytime. Even rebuilding faster. I can probably use those parts to modify my 3D printing and nanomachines. Which they're like, that's fine by us. What about the head? It's like, oh, I can technically turn this into a scanner, basically, for any, like... Well, actually, no. Better yet. So, Izuku goes to the parts, he, absorbs it. I mean, he basically absorbs them into him because technically it's Ultron, and Ultron turned him, to be his successor, so he has all Ultron's memory, so he knows how to absorb something into his body, or, he made him, basically able to transform himself into doing this. And then after a few minutes, they come out as something different. Like, they just come out of parts, as in he's rebuilding everything from scratch. And he goes, there you go, a 3D printer with an arc reactor. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, this thing can build anything for you guys. In reason, I mean, not like... You can basically build a freaking plasma sword that can cut through anything. That's impossible. I mean, I really can't give you that with the parts. It's like, oh, so... You can build, like, normal parts that fix the machines, add-ons and stuff. Which the leader of the A.I.M group is, like, shocked by this, like... Okay, what's your game? He's like, I said I was going to take it over, so... Look, how about this? I help you out for these past couple of days, and we'll try to build A.I.M into being more of a well-known group amongst the public. You will be the leader of them, of this company, but I will be the manager of it behind the scenes. I mean, I'm just a kid, so it'll be better if I have someone instead of I could do an avatar thing, but me controlling a robot, but it will be kind of a problem at some points. So we'll work from the ground up. We'll start with this building, start making a local equipment of hero costumes, or support items. Then we can go into the medical facility. We currently can then have this building grow if we buy the other buildings right behind it. We just need to get the paperwork and such from it. He's like, are you sure you're willing to help us out? And he's like, yeah. You guys really need help. And the hero business isn't good for you guys no more. Which they all just look at each other and nod. He's like, alright, kid, it's decided. You're the new leader. And we'll listen to you. He's like, good. So, let me make a few calls. So, he calls up his dad. He calls up Melissa Shield, mom. And David Shield. And the Avengers. the ones that are the Avengers, not the teen ones. And he's like, and then he explains to them the situation, and they just look at him as like, what? He's like, look, I know these guys have been around for so long, and last time we even seen them like around this like how long ago? Which Melissa's mom says when I was basically a teen. So a good 25 years ago. Because exactly. Look at this place, and they just seen it and they nod. Yeah, they really need to get out of the villain business. And you're like, it ain't easy. Like, seriously, all these heroes are getting way more powerful each generation with quirks. We thought Japan would be a lot more easier, but no, All Might's also a problem. An endeavor. Don't get started with, well, Eraserhead too. Hold on. So they all just look at one another and they just like, alright. So basically they ask what you need. Like, well, we need some equipment to basically help out building this stuff. We basically, as he basically explains about support items and actually getting this place built and running to actually go on the other floors for actual, business work, strategy, strategies in which, with how they're gonna like, expand this place and if they ever want to make this into an actual company. So, yeah, it kind of happens pretty quickly because of the help of Melissa, David, and his fathers, especially Melissa and David's, Melissa's parents. The Avengers did help out too, so basically one of them was also like one of the heroes of the old generation. I mean, well, not the old generation, I mean like, yeah, the old generation. So basically Stars and Stripes is basically a combination between two characters, Captain America and Thor. Grandchild. Yeah, okay. So they kind of helped out, and during those days, Izuko and Katsumi did find out about the entire them getting to UA and everything. They were happy. Izuko and Izumi also got on the UA. They did rank up pretty good amount of points in the class 1A. Inko didn't. Well, Inko wanted to say something, but yeah, she didn't because of one reason. If Izuku, somewhat forgave them, she could too. She contacted him and told him, he's like, yeah, don't even try anything, Mom, just let them. Just let them. Let's see what happens. She goes, are you sure? He's like, I can basically counteract anything they have. And basically, I also have vibranium and mantium, so it's alright with me. She goes, alright, so, yeah. Vision also, well, is kind of managing, A.I.M too. I mean, he found out as soon as like he talked to Melissa's mom. He basically came all the way to Japan, and he basically seen the facility. The facility in 2 days' time got pretty like the underground lab, area where they lab and science area. It actually became, they work on a stairwell to get down, and basically having like a good production line to actually and make equipment, and they also got the building registered. So they're just starting to get stuff in, which they did on the first floor. I mean, the floors. Basically, it was like a 4-story building, so basically they worked on the floors first before getting into the science area. The first day, it was just the paperwork, which it was pretty easy because of Hasashi and the Avengers. And then, boom. They just started putting stuff in, carpets and stuff. Yeah, that was done because of Izuku's helping out. And so, what next was the laboratory area. So they instead of having an elevator going down the middle of the floor, they got rid of that. They basically made actual concrete and stuff, and then they just are actually making the production line and stairwells. And Vision's like, impressive. I did think A.I.M would come to be out in the open, and then, well, Izuku was there. He's like, easy. The reason how it is because one, they were dying off. And two, I mean, kind of helped them out. Basically, also made them a 3D printer that can create almost anything in reason. So, technically speaking, we can have more of a production line with these, which we kind of can, but at the same time, it'll be better off we make them handmade. So that's where we have multiple stations for everyone to build and such. and we're about to open up tomorrow, and well, some pro heroes are going to come in like Endeavor, Mirko, well, technically even Night Eye, Eraserhead, and that's Genius. Which he's like, that's shocking. He's like, yeah, so we're trying to get the final touches. It's like, what about those? Oh, Adaptoids? Yeah, they kind of like are dismantling them, using them for spare parts a little bit. Are kind of using them to like we're dismantling them, but for the Ultron looking one, they basically kind of let me scan it, and well, I kind of use all its blue. How can I say this? He goes, all the abilities he has, and basically use into the nanomachines and your body to technically adapt yourself with like your shapeshifting. He's like, yeah, pretty much. Smart. He's like, thank you. So, and basically he sees Katsumi there helping out. He's like, huh? Why is she here? He's like, oh, my girlfriend? Duh. She knows I'm going to technically be running this place. Which he's like, huh? The AIM leader, former AIM leader, is like, yes, but if a kid's not, taking it over while he's in school, it is a bad. I mean, he said it was a bad thing. So we kind of just, it's like, oh, so you're gonna be the one who's running the place while he's in school and such. And yeah, I'm a good guy. I wanted to help out people, but I'm technically quirkless. But I'm a genius. So, which I kind of shocked him a little. He's like, everyone here at AIM had no quirk. If we did, we only had intelligence quirks, or technically a minor super strength quirk. We were basically still just useless. So, there's even some people with mutation type quirks that have been bullied for years. So yeah, so Izuko says, yep, and we're technically be hiring a lot of quirkless people. Then, if we basically make this into a big giant company, and I think everything's safe for everyone else. Say, yep. So, I'm gonna be going over there, boss. I'll tell you when we're done with the production line. Basically, he's like, yep. Katsumi comes over saying, Izuku, look. As basically she already was. She had like some people help her with what she wanted to be done. He's like, huh. So instead of making the gauntlets like grenades, you basically are making them smaller to be straps on your arms. She goes, yeah, each little area will hold little sweat pockets, and well, because I can technically touch something and make it explode by putting my sweat onto it, I can do it so easily more. I can actually spray them around, like until how can I say this, onto certain areas of a place, and they won't explode until I want them to now. It's like, huh, that's great. So, what about the entire, air little circle of explosion? It's like, that still happens. It's like, cool. So, everything just stores it up in these? Because, yep. And, well, because of the whole entire, 3D printer, we basically kind of made it to where it's indestructible. So, it can even, extend. So, Zuko's like, oh, so those how should I say this, round parts, square stuff that's on the basically bracelets, arm bracelet is actually storing up the sweat, correct? She goes, uh-huh. And then basically it'll expand, all making it look like a gauntlet. She goes, uh-huh. And then it just, when you use it, it'll shrink down. She goes, uh-huh. There's a certain limit to how much it can take in, basically. The same size around my brother's gauntlets design that he wants. That's all. She's like, oh, cool. So, anything else done? She goes, yeah. I mean, we're kind of wanted to. I wanted like a vibranium suit, so that so that way when if I get hit, I won't get. She's like, yeah, we'll have to ask, Wakanda for that technology. I mean, until I do have it. If I go there though, they probably think I'm invading since the new basically the next Kane is part of the Avengers of the Team ones. She goes, I see. He goes, yeah. So he may say no, but there's a probably likely chance he won't. Hopefully. Uh, so yeah. So after that, next day happens, and tell me, let's just say this: Endeavor asked for a new design for basically to have a stronger firepower for his suit, along with Razorhead asked for basically a stronger suit so he doesn't get hurt. Miracle just asked for something that will help her from taking bullets and knives. Best Genius, cutting damage. Which they all said we can do that. So they come up with something. Basically, Zuko's suit. I mean, not Zuko's suit. And Razor's. I mean, Aizawa's suit. Basically, hero costume. It's still the same, but it's way more. Way more stronger now. Basically, can take bullets and knives. Which he's shocked by this, and he was like, "How is it so light?" He was like, They basically just kind of like engrave the metal fibers into it, so it's way more. It'll react to when a knife is about to hit it. You're like, huh. It also helps with nanites too, so that's what they say, and they also waterproof, so you can technically wash it. It's like, thanks. Endeavor, more firepower. Mirako, same thing. They even help give her some actual stuff to help her with her kicking power, which she was shot. Best Genius. He got what he wanted, which was actually just a liner they can put into his clothing, and which it will technically then react to if if the clothing's getting cut, or react and protect him, which he's shocked by this. So after that success, they kind of tell the Hero Commission. The Hero Commission, tells some heroes, and in about a couple of hours, there's a lot of heroes going to them since the pros went, and yeah, we're just gonna. A couple of days later, Izuko and Katsumi are getting to UA, and they're about to enter the classroom. But that's where I'm gonna leave it off, everyone. I'm gonna start uploading this now, so hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Bye.